Hey guys, welcome to the Vault. It's Leon, Pierre, and Jason. This is the premiere episode of Sports Talk in the Vault. Hope you guys enjoy. We will be going through 5 topics each week, the 5 top topics in sports, and we're just here to talk about it. So, you guys ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, I think this will be cool. I think it may not be the 5 biggest topics, but the 5 that we chose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited to do this. I think it'll add a little bit of depth to what we do. We all love sports, and I know most of the folks out there that watch the hack content love sports as well. So this will be pretty cool. So I'm ready to get started whenever you guys are. So
Okay.
Leon, are you going to kind of lead the way here this evening?
Yes, sir.
Can't wait, man.
All right. So
I love a good debate.
Yes. So topic number 1, LeBron James tweeted, and he basically blamed the NBA for the lack of rest, for the number of injuries this year. There were a lot of injuries this year. Most notably, Denver was not healthy. The Clippers were not healthy. His team was not healthy. Lots of injuries. Lots of players going down due to lack of rest, schedule being shortened. What do you guys think?
Smells like a cop-out to me.
It sounds like LeBron being LeBron.
Okay.
Finding any possible reason to, cry about him not being in the finals. I mean, the lack of rest is a non-issue. You're a professional athlete that gets paid $35 million, or is he over 40 now, to play basketball. And this was never an issue. Like when we were growing up, players played every single night. They played all the way through the postseason. Now, granted, the postseason's a little bit longer than it is today than it was then. But I mean, they were getting physically beaten up every single night. And
it was a different kind of game. It was a different kind of game. I don't want to sound like one of those old guys. It's like I remember the time, but I am admittedly a Jordan guy. And this isn't something you would hear Michael Jordan say.
Never.
For me, I do think there may be some validity to the fact that the schedule, the way it's kind of created now, could wear on a player differently than it has in the past. Yeah. But I think back to I can think of tons of teams that have been hit with that injury bug and still made it, and still went farther than they did. He still has an ultra talented team around him. I think the reality is he's getting old. And as you get older, your effectiveness, obviously is going to decrease, and I think the propensity to maybe say something that you wouldn't in the past gets even stronger. So I don't think there's a lot to this. It's not like just his team was affected by it.
No.
I mean, look at the Clippers. The Clippers are going to, first of all, they're not getting by the Suns. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, but they don't have Kawhi Leonard.
Nope.
I mean,
they don't have anyone to score.
Yeah, there may be some validity. There may be some validity to what LeBron's saying, but at the end of the day, it certainly feels like, hey, let me explain to you why I got knocked out in the first round. That's what it feels like to me.
No, he's also blaming the lack of rim rest and back to backs and stuff like that for these injuries. I went back and I looked at the top 50 minutes played, leaders in minutes played this year. None of them were injured in the playoffs. So I think there is something to actually playing, consistently, continuously, instead of coming down for 3 days, playing another game, 2 days off.
I agree with you. It's almost like that whole Nolan Ryan thing, right? When Nolan Ryan, I mean, the guy would throw inning after inning after inning. He was the most durable guy in the history of Major League Baseball pitching, in my opinion. And I think the softer that this becomes, the players become softer. I mean, you've got to train them to be able to endure this sort of physical activity, right? Yeah. And quite frankly, LeBron's on the wrong side of 35 now.
Yeah. I mean,
18th season, right? I don't think many players have expectations that they should win a championship at season 18. It's very rare for anyone to even get there. I think Vince and Dirk, they did 20, right? or Dirk did 19, Vince did 20. Either way, not many players.
And they weren't as effective as LeBron is right now.
No.
They weren't. So credit to LeBron. I mean, physically, he's in a much better shape. It's almost like the Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning thing. You know, like they look completely different at 38. I mean, he looks completely different than those two did. He's certainly not as effective as he once was, but he's certainly not at the decline that those guys were at that point.
Right. And granted, LeBron is bigger and faster than most players we've seen up until that point. So the forces that he puts on his body doing the things he does are probably a lot greater than what we've seen. So frankly, I'm surprised he's lasted quite this long. And at the level that he's at. But to blame it on not enough or too many games,
I'm with you, Jason.
It feels like a cop out.
Yeah. Leon, before we move on, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. It's like a cause and effect thing, right? So there's a lot of things that affect this. Number one being, the pandemic shortening the season, the NBA owners trying to recoup some of the money and all this other stuff. But I don't know, like a lot of these injuries, I don't know if they're occurring because there's not enough rest or whatever. Like Kyrie rolled an ankle. James Harden, normally super durable, just has a hamstring pull or hamstring strain, and Jamal Murray torn ACL. Like just stuff just happens, right? So if if stuff happens and you look back and you're trying to find something to blame, I don't know. It's tough to say. But
is there statistics proving there's actually more players injured right now?
Well, he's saying that there's
more higher
9 all-stars are not.
No. That's right. But my deeper point is it just that there's a higher mix of stars that have been injured, or is there actually, in fact, a higher level of injuries in general?
I don't believe there is. I think it's just more the people that are injured are higher profile.
It's just an unlucky draw.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the shortened season.
So I don't know, man. LeBron does a lot of great things, but one of the things that I don't like is this. It feels like an excuse.
And he's flopping off the court instead of just on it too.
And also, like, you risk yourself when you only have a couple stars on your team, and those guys are the guys that happen to be hurt. When those guys are hurt, next man up, right? So, But cool topic. Topic number 2, the Kawhi-less Clippers. For the first time in 50 years of their existence, they make it to the Western Conference Final. They did it rallying themselves down 2-0 again. They come back and win. And the last 2 games, they do it without Kawhi Leonard and playoff P. Paul George kind of leads them to victory. What do you guys think?
They're not getting past the Suns.
Well, if the NBA allows Chris Paul to play, I don't know why. Again, this goes back to LeBron. I don't know why Chris Paul has to sit out, but LeBron didn't, and they basically did the exact same thing. So, anyway, I'm frankly surprised Quinn Snyder still has a job. How do you let a guy go for his career high in basketball, up by 25 in the third quarter, and not put anybody on him or change your strategy at all in a game 7? That's ridiculous.
Terrence Mann had the game of his life. Good on the Clippers for finding him. I believe he's like a low draft pick. Reggie Jackson just released from the Pistons, finding a big role. But they showed some guts. I mean, the Clippers are not known for being they're kind of the little brother of the Lakers. So I was kind of hoping that they would implode a little bit, but
that the Clippers would.
Yeah.
They're not getting by the Suns. I don't know. I think Chris Paul or not, they're not getting by the Suns.
Yeah, Devin Booker's
on he's at another level right now.
Yeah.
So, and with Kawhi, what's the bigger loss, Kawhi or Chris Paul? Kawhi to the Clippers or Chris Paul to the Suns?
Kawhi to the Suns.
Yeah, I agree. No. I think it's Kawhi.
Yes.
You think it's Kawhi, huh?
Yeah,
Kawhi means more to the Clippers
he
than
means
Chris
more.
Paul.
Chris
Paul might not even
has
be the best
elevated
player
that team
on the Suns.
to a Western. He may not be the best player. He's not the best player, but
Yeah.
he is the one that has made that team a Western Conference Finals team. He was the glue that pulled that entire team together.
But Kawhi Kawhi did the same thing for the Clippers.
Kawhi's more of a one-man team, like
right,
just,
which is proving the point.
Yeah,
that's proving the point.
I don't know.
Chris Paul is not as big a loss to the Suns. Now, I'm not saying he's not a loss. It's a huge loss, but it's not as big impact-wise as Kawhi not playing for the Clippers.
Yeah, because if you run back the tape, the Suns were the hottest team in the bubble last year. They went 8-0. Right. They didn't make the playoffs. But if you were counting from the bubble till now, they've been the hottest team in basketball.
Right.
Right. And Chris Paul has a lot to do with that.
I don't know. I think it helps that they're both out right now. I think it evens things out quite a bit. But if the Suns had to play, without Chris Paul against Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers, I don't think they stand a chance.
No, of course not. But we're not saying that.
Yeah.
I think it's an advantage. It's actually an advantage right now
for
the Suns, because when you minus out Chris Paul and you minus out Kawhi, it's worse for the Clippers. Who else do they? I mean, they don't like. You have Devin Booker on the other side. Who do the Clippers have besides Kawhi?
Paul George.
Paul George. I would take Devin Booker right now over Paul George in a second.
Yeah. Actually, to be honest, I really don't know who they have. I mean, Reggie or Jackson's had a great postseason, but
Terrence Mann, Boogie, Zuba, they're not as good.
Yeah.
You take Kawhi off that team, that's a big.
Okay. They're not as good with Kawhi. Let's be clear. They're not as good with Kawhi.
So at full strength, you think the Suns are much better?
I still take the Suns.
Yeah.
I still take the Suns.
Yeah. Well, Chris Paul's more likely to come back than Kawhi. There's rumors that he tore his ACL.
Yeah. I mean, but again, I personally, I think we can all stand by our picks here. I'm taking the Suns in 6.
Okay.
Without if Leonard doesn't come back, I'm taking the Suns in 5.
Did you guys see the Suns?
You're kind of proving my point now, Jason.
I still think that Chris Paul means a lot to that team.
Because I never said he didn't.
No, but I also assume he's going to be back, very soon.
Within the next couple days. Did you guys see this?
I think there's some precedent. There's some precedent there, like you were referring to with LeBron James and stuff. They're on shaky ground. But what were you saying, Leon?
Did you guys see the Suns in 4 guy was in the stands? He was back.
Do you see the Suns in 4 guys action figure?
No, I seen him handing out T-shirts though.
There's an action figure now.
Good on him.
Well,
capitalizing.
It's a couple good topics. I guess we could shift over to baseball, right, Leon?
Yeah. So next topic, Ohtani, first player to confirm for this year's home run derby, first pitcher ever to do it. And hopefully he's going to put on a show, because this year's All-Star game was originally scheduled to be in Atlanta, now in Coors Field in Colorado. How do you guys feel about this?
About him being first Shohei Ohtani as a player is electric. I mean, this is something like we've never seen.
Yeah.
I mean, what has he got? It's like 73 strikeouts and 53 innings as a pitcher, which is sick. And then he's also popping. What has he got? 22 home runs, 52 RBIs, 10 stolen bases. I don't know, man. This dude's incredible, and I like the fact that he's going to be in the All-Star game. It goes back to what we just talked about with LeBron James and the playing time and all that stuff. Like these people whining. Like I remember Bobby Abreu many years ago went into a home run contest, right? I think it was with the Yankees or maybe the Phillies at the time, and he never hit that same level of power again in his career. And it was like, it's the home run derby. No, it's the guy lost his fucking touch, man. I mean, we're always trying to find these weird conspiracy theories. I want to see the best players doing the coolest shit. And one of the coolest things, and hopefully Chris Berman's nowhere around it, is the home run derby.
He will be. He is.
No, the home run derby is like one of those things. And like, you want to kind of draw in this younger crowd. You want to make the game exciting. You have one of the biggest worldwide stars that can not only pitch, but can hit for that sort of power. I want to see him. I want to see him do it. I want to see him do it. As a matter of fact, I want to see him do that. And then I want to see him in the All-Star game pitching. I don't want to hear him with his whining. Oh, it's just an All-Star. I don't care, man. Let's get back to what 99 Pedro went out there. He didn't care about his R. He's like, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to compete. Like, what happened to that? It's like the participation trophy generation. It's like just play.
Money obviously has a lot to do with it, right? These players make a ton of money. And
with guaranteed contracts.
Right. And I'm saying their teams don't want to see them get hurt.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Exhibition game.
They've amended the rules, right? The game can end in a tie now because of what happened last time.
That's such ridiculous. That should be a topic for another show. But just throw an arm out there. I don't care. Take your manager, have him throw practice until somebody wins. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they'll bring in the runner on second rule that they used.
Getting back to the subject, Ohtani, I want to see him in the home run derby.
Yeah, absolutely. The home run leader should be in the home run derby.
Yep, absolutely. So I want to see him. I want to see Devers. I want to see Vlad Guerrero. I want to see these. I want to see Trout. I want to see all those guys.
Tatis.
That's what you have to do, man. You want to really showcase the game and to create this hype around the game with a younger crowd and kind of shun some of these baseball purists. Like, you need to have that sort of fanfare around these things.
Yeah.
And it's different than a dunk contest. A dunk contest to me is awesome to watch, but it's like, at this point, I've seen it all. Like, you saw Dominique Wilkins and what that guy could do. There's not much else happening after that,
I want to see better players in the dunk contest, though.
I know, but
better players. But no retries.
I don't know, but the thing about this is not something that's debatable. A home run competition is what I mean. It's not subjective on votes.
Right.
Fair. This is just like you pound the ball out of the park as many times as you can. You just muscle the shit out of that ball, and you win or you lose. That's what I like about it. It's different. Like it is subjective. The dunk contest is different.
So you really don't think there's an effect for guys that really go out there, kill it, and then just have like a power outage after?
No. Like, why? That's batting practice.
Yeah,
we've seen it happen a couple times, right? I think Josh Hamilton, notably.
Josh Hamilton was an alcoholic, drug abuser that beat children. That's not someone. I think there may be other issues at play besides whether or not his swing got tweaked in a home run hitting contest.
Well, I mean, we've seen many more players compete in the home run derby and not have an issue.
It'd be fine. And I've also seen a ton of great home run hitters that go into the home run derby and can't do it. So I don't know. It's like this whole let's just try to explain away why I'm not doing well.
Yeah, trying to find something to blame.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I want to see the best players in the home run contest.
Fair enough.
And he's obviously one of the best players in baseball. Angels get a hell of a deal with him, man.
Yeah,
$3 million.
Now, this dude's a real deal. Now, do I envision him pitching the rest of his career? I don't know. Maybe he'll be a middle reliever or a closer or something. I don't know, because this is going to be hard to kind of keep this up at this level.
Yeah, well, they totally changed their pitching rotation or their lineup structure and everything to accommodate him.
I'd love to see him as a closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could definitely pitch more games as a closer. Just bring him right in from the outfield, just like they do in youth baseball. Hey, shortstop, come. It's your turn.
Right now, it's working the way it is, right? I mean, the guy is no slouch either pitching. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'd like to see more players go both ways like that.
Well, the Angels arguably have two of the most electric players in the league, and it just shows you that you need more than that because they haven't had any playoff success. So, we'll see how it goes. Sticking with baseball, topic number 4, Vlad Guerrero Jr. is on Triple Crown chase. Hasn't been done in a long, long time. Last guy to do it, Miguel Cabrera in the AL. I don't think he did the MLB league, Triple Crown. It was just the AL. And he's being chased right now. So a lot of juniors right now. So Tatis Jr. is chasing him. Acuna is chasing him, and Ohtani is chasing him for the home run lead. So do you keep it up?
You're missing Devers, who's like one RBI behind him.
Okay.
I want to burst your bubble for a second, Leon, if that's okay.
Right.
Guerrero Jr. is not winning the Triple Crown.
Okay.
I think this is a long ass season.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's more powerful lineups in baseball right now that are going to allow for more RBI opportunities for other people. They do have a good offense. Your team has a good offense. The Jays have a good offense.
Mm-hmm.
But I would not be shocked to see Devers winning the RBI crown. And it's not because I'm a Red Sox fan. The dude's got a knack for RBIs. I would suggest a deeper lineup.
Okay.
I think the tough part about a Triple Crown is this. You've got to be hitting on all cylinders in all three of those categories, man. And you've got to go the distance.
Yeah.
That's why you see so many players like flirting with it. Miguel Cabrera, when he did it, that was a near flawless season for him.
Yeah.
That was before he gained all the weight and became ineffective. And then before that, Yastrzemski won it only because I believe it was Yastrzemski was before him, only because I think he won with a batting average of 301.
Yeah.
So it was an off year where batting averages were way down.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the likelihood of Guerrero winning the Triple Crown this year is probably like 5%.
Okay.
So I'm just checking the calendar. It says June 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me in September.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna pause on the subject until September because then it doesn't really matter until then.
He's a fantastic player, Leon.
Oh yeah.
I'm not. This guy is going to be a perennial MVP candidate year in and year out, the way I see it.
Yeah.
But the Triple Crown is a different beast, man.
There's not many people who have ever done it.
There's only two people to do it since 1967.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know that 5% I told you? It's probably more like 1%.
Yeah.
And Yastrzemski again only won that because the highest batting average in baseball was 301 or something like that. I could be wrong about that number. I think
it was low. It was low. Yeah. I think it was like 313 or 303. It was very low.
Let's take a look.
I mean, he goes and sit, he pulls a hamstring or something, has to sit for 7 games. Mm-hmm. He's out of it. Like,
yeah. Well, right now the home just looking at strictly home run, it's a battle, right? I know Tatis left yesterday's game with an injury, but Acuna's right on. Yeah, Acuna's right on his trail. Ohtani's right on his tail.
Mm-hmm.
So even just catching the home run, be really hard.
In today's game, hitting for home runs and hitting for average is just not something people do.
It's usually not tied together.
Right. So
I was wrong. That year was 326.
Okay, there was someone who won it with a very low average.
Yeah, that year, Yastrzemski hit 326, 44 homers, 121 RBIs. The year after, he hit 301, and he won the batting title, batting 301 the year after.
It was Frank Robinson who I was thinking about. So Frank Robinson won it in '66 with a 316 average.
Yeah, those are low batting averages, right?
Yeah,
to lead the league, yeah.
Absolutely. But their on-base percentages were still over 400, which is what you'd expect. But, I don't know, man. It's not an easy thing to do.
No.
If there's one thing that he has as an advantage, it's that he's not in a pressure-packed market.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's not even playing at home, technically.
Well, no, I know. But I think just the market in general, like if you were in New York or something, the scrutiny around that would be starting earlier. I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to see him do it.
Yeah, he's still hella young. Like he's only 24, something like that.
He's young. I don't know if he's young. He's probably the same age as Devers, right?
He might be younger.
Yeah.
Not
sure. Older than Acuna and Tatis.
No, he's younger than Devers, but he's not 24 yet. There's no way. He came up when he was 19, right?
19,
he's probably like 22 or 23 now.
He is 22. Jeez, he's younger than I thought.
22. Yeah. There you go.
He's young.
So for someone to do it at 22 would be crazy.
Which makes the chance 0.5%.
We got so many.
He's a 99 born.
All these guys we're talking about are 22 and 23 years old.
Yeah. I mean, the game's in a
That's
good place
crazy.
right now, right? The game's in a great place
The
right
game's
now.
in a good place if they highlight it the right way. Like if you utilize like the Ohtanis and the Guerreros and the Devers and the Tatis the right way.
Do you think it makes a big difference that all of the big stars don't speak English first? Does it make it harder to market them?
No, why? I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
All right. Moving on, the last subject of the day, dirty balls. Pitchers
Dirty
ban
balls,
substances.
dirty balls. Leon likes that name.
Yes. So, baseball's forever a sport that people are always going to try to gain the advantage. This year, it seems like MLB is fighting back against the pitchers. There's been a record number of no-hitters this year. Seems like we get one almost every week.
Yeah.
The double headers make it a little bit easier for some of the pitchers to even get a no-hitter. So we saw a 7-inning no-hitter, which I believe was the first in history. But now Major League Baseball has announced a 10-game suspension for any pitcher being caught with the illegal foreign substances. We've seen certain teams pitching get rocks right after. We've seen certain players spin rates go down. What do you guys think?
Well, first, I don't think it's not technically a no-hitter if it was only 7 innings.
Yeah, they get like an asterisk one.
The MLB did call it a no-hitter.
I thought the rule book says that you have to pitch 9 innings.
I don't know. Well, think about like a rain-shortened game after like 5.
It wouldn't be a no-hitter.
It wouldn't be?
No. That's one thing that I'm pretty sure of, that anything that's not 9 in, and if you were to go 10 innings of no hit ball, that's not a no hitter either.
No, the game's
unless you win it, while still being in the game, being the pitcher of record. But here, listen, I'll tell you what I think. I think that baseball is predicated on offense, like the popularity of the sport, like we've seen this with football too. Hands off the receivers, open up the floodgates here, allow them to score. NBA to some degree. Think about like the San Antonio Spurs. They were hated because of the defense they played. It was so boring to watch, right? And they know how important offense is. So if you see something skewing to the side of low scoring, real deliberate paces to games and whatnot, that's not what sells. So there's got to be a correction. Do I think it's about doctoring the baseball? No, I think it's about the pendulum swinging too hard on the pitching side. And that's not exciting to people. It's exciting if it's Jacob deGrom every 5 games. It's exciting if it's like, one of these superstar pitchers that goes out there every 5 games and shuts people down. It's not exciting when the game turns into that totally.
Yeah,
sure.
So, do you think it's fair that they do this midseason? So, Tyler Glasnow is blaming his torn UCL on this fact. So,
on the fact that he was breaking the rules?
Right.
Yeah.
Foreign substances on the baseball have always been illegal. That's just the way it is. The reason they've even gotten away with it is because teams are afraid to rat each other out because everybody's using it, right?
Yeah. So similar to the steroid stuff.
Yeah, similar to steroids, just obviously not as impactful as those. But spider tack's illegal. Sunscreen's illegal. I don't even know why sunscreen would even help you at all. It seems
you probably lose grip. Yeah, you probably lose grip with that.
But yeah, I mean, if they had been pitching legally, their muscles, they would have been gripping the baseball the correct way, and their muscles. I don't
feel for anybody who says that they potentially hurt themselves because they were able to use cheating. Like if you weren't using a foreign substance your whole career, maybe you wouldn't have become dependent on it, and you wouldn't have this injury either. Like I don't know, but I don't think MLB is doing this for these virtuous reasons. I just don't believe it. It's just like back in in the 90s when we were watching Sosa versus McGuire and those home run chases. Everybody and their grandmother knew those people were on steroids.
The reporters showed the steroids in his locker in his locker.
It wasn't
He was-
steroids.
he-
It was androstenedione. It was
Yeah.
a precursor, a testosterone precursor. But
Right.
But don't tell me that MLB didn't know what was going on. It saved baseball.
Yeah.
That home run chase between Sosa and McGuire trying to crack that 61 mark saved baseball. You had the strike shortened season of 96, right? It was 96, right? I forgot what year.
94, 94.
94. And they needed this to happen.
Yeah.
They
A
needed
lot
this
of
to
people
happen.
didn't come back. A lot of people didn't come back initially after the strike.
Well, but honestly, like I just don't buy it that like, oh my God, we got to clean this up. Like, nah. You need you're already bleeding money because the ballparks aren't as full because of COVID. You've got to rebound this sort of thing, and you've got to market it the right way. And your cornerstone isn't going to be 1-0, 2-0, 3-4, 4-3 games. It's going to be 10-6, 8-5.
Right.
Or like the Red Sox, they played a game last week. I watched. It was like it ended up being like 12-11 against the Braves or something. Like that's exciting to people. It's not exciting to watch, Tommy middle of the rotation go out there and throw like a 5-hitter. Like it's not.
It's really hard to throw together a 30-second marketing commercial too, showing a stellar pitching performance when you can, throw in 15 clips of somebody hitting bombs.
You guys have heard this before, right? Chicks dig the long ball. Like, I mean, it's just like no one's liking a product where it's going to be very low scoring. Think about it. It even happened back, I think, in the Bob Gibson days, right, where they had to raise the mound.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After his ERA.
Yeah, when he had that sub whatever it was ERA, and they just like, all right, we got to alter things here.
Yeah. So
Why did they do that?
Didn't they lower the mound?
Oh, lower the mound, yeah. But why did they do that?
Yeah.
Raising the
Give an
mound to
advantage
give him
back
more
to
of an
the-
advantage. What's that?
Give him more advantage back to the hitter.
Yeah, because it doesn't sell.
Yeah.
But the other thing I want, 10-game suspension
You think that's
for
fair?
for a pitcher is a 2-game suspension.
Yes.
I never understood why, like when there's a fight or something,
I'm with you, man. Stupid.
when they suspend players, a 10-game position player is out for 10 games. A 10-game suspension for a pitcher, he's out for 2.
Mhm.
I never understood why they treat those the same. It should be 5 starts.
Well, they shouldn't have the ability to spit their sunflower seeds out for the other 8 games.
Right.
But no, Jason, you're right. I mean, but I also like, how do you really police this? Like, so
Yeah.
Joe West, like his vision's not quite as good as like so and so, and like how are they gonna monitor this? And I want to see
they're
how
going to do a ball check.
Angel Hernandez will be fantastic at this. That guy, he's the worst umpire in the history of. We got to do that as a topic. He's the worst umpire I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
I can't believe that guy's doing a job.
He sways games for both teams to lose. I don't get it. Like he's just
he's just inept.
Yeah,
incompetent. He doesn't know. He's a terrible umpire.
I guess they would have to check the pitcher's hand when he comes into the game.
So is it going to be regimented though? Like, how are you going to be fair from one game to the next? Like, I mean,
I think
it's not easy to manage.
No, it's not. Unless they
random checks.
Okay, so Jacob deGrom's not getting checked, and Clayton Kershaw's not getting checked, but Joe Schmo that just got called up from AAA, he's going to get checked all the time. That's what I don't like about the whole.
Trevor Bauer's been talking about this forever, right? I mean, Trevor Bauer's been talking about this forever, and he's 100% right. Like, I mean, there is I don't know, man. I think baseball is built on cheating. Like, I mean, stealing signs has been part of the game for as long as the game's been around. I mean,
since they invented signs.
It's tough. This is a tough one to manage. It's a tough one to kind of enforce. But I stick to my thoughts around it's not for the virtuous reasons we may all think. They want the integrity of the game. That has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. And anybody who tells me that, they're full of shit. There's no way. Behind closed doors, what they're talking about is the impact it's having on their bottom line.
And Major League Baseball has proven that they chase the dollar time and time again.
Of course. Sosa and McGuire were the number one prevailing kind of evidence of that. But also think about like that whole steroid era. Even after that, there wasn't like baseball wasn't looking to clean it up until their hand was forced.
Yes.
Dude, they would break into like primetime television to show Barry Bonds at bats.
Yeah.
When
Anytime
he
you're
was
that
just
bad.
72.
And that wasn't even
That's what you're
steroids. That
doing.
was human growth hormone. That guy changed his actual body composition. Like
Right.
his
Right.
head was, I don't know, man, probably 8.5 hat size. I mean, it was crazy.
I looked it up. It was only 7.5.
His head, no way.
He started at like a 7.
He may have started at a 7.5.
That's what I thought I saw, but
That
I
dude's
could be
head
wrong
is
on
the
that.
is this that dude's head is gigantic. And I mean figuratively and literally. Like the
Bigger than
dude's
Bruce
head-
Bochy. Bruce Bochy is like known as the guy with like the.
Yeah, he's
Big
got
head.
the 8.
Man, these are topics for another day, but this was good, man. I think we covered a gamut of topics here, and I think this will be cool to do every week, and we'll get some guests on with us that are, if we have a topic, let's say that's like this city related, we'll find someone that can come on and kind of share with us like their perspective and whatnot. But I think there's an awful lot to talk about. I think those were some really good topics. Leon, I'm sorry that I rained on your little Vlad Guerrero parade, but
it came up in the topics. I'm excited to see how it plays out. So whatever happens, happens.
I have a sneaking suspicion a month from now, you're not going to be thinking about him winning a Triple Crown.
I just want us to win games and fix our bullpen. So whatever, Triple Crown would be icing on the cake.
And I just want to say to the viewers too, if you guys have suggestions for some topics, leave them in the comments. Maybe hit us up in DM on Instagram or whatever. But we'd like to get your guys' feedback as well. So
this was fun, guys, and I appreciate you all doing this. This is always a good time. We're gonna have more diverse kind of content coming, but this is something that's gonna be regularly recorded and then uploaded on Saturday mornings. This one's you're probably seeing this not on a Saturday morning, but that's only because this is our first week kind of unveiling this. But going forward, they'll be recorded on Fridays and they'll be dropped onto the channel every Saturday morning. So you have a quick 30-minute, 35-minute kind of 5-topic debate on debate. I guess it could be a debate, but maybe a dissection of 5 topics. So with that, Leon, take us away, big fella.
Yeah, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out our podcast, available on all streaming platforms. Until next time, this is Leon, Jason, and Pierre. We're signing out. Stay fitted, guys.
See you, everybody.